Okay, so as promised, I'm going to be propagating some blackberries. I've never had much luck propagating blackberries in the summertime. However, I'm going to do it differently this time, and I'll tell you what I'm doing different in just a minute. I've got my dip and grow. This is what I normally use. I have had some people over the years give me take root and root tone, and swear by it, say it's real good stuff, but I've never used it. And so anyway, I'm just going to use the dip and grow. Basically, on the dip and grow, they give you a little bitty bottle of dip and grow. On this type of cutting, a softwood cutting, you put about 1/8 of an inch of dip and grow in this container. The container comes in the package of dip and grow. Put just a little bit, I mean 1/8 of an inch maybe down there, and fill the rest of the way up with water. That dilutes it to the proper strength, the strength they want you to use. So I have cut these. Very few of them, on a few of them, I left a piece of a leaf. It's not necessary. And you'll notice that on the ends of every one of them, the bottom end of it, I put a bevel on it. I don't do that for any other reason except to tell me which way is down. You've got to put it in the ground the same way it was growing. If it was growing this way, this end has to be down in the ground. And on a cutting like this, it's pretty easy to tell because this is forked out, this is growing up. But some cuttings, it's not real easy to tell. So I've just gotten in the habit of putting that little bit of a bevel on it, a little bit of a angle. Now, let me show you how I dip it, and then do a little extra when I dip. So let me show you that. So most of you know what I'm talking about when I say a node. This is a node. A little bump off the side of the plant where everything grows. It's where the little sprouts come out. Well, it's also where it roots from. So I want as many of these little nodes in the potting mix as I can get, because that means I'm getting a better root system. If I just put it in this deep, I might get roots on this node. If I put it in this deep, then I've got this node and this node and this node that would try to root. Okay, got 3 nodes. If I put it in a little bit deeper, I get that 4th node. Well, I'm going in this tall Folgers coffee can, and I'm gonna get 3 nodes. I'll probably have the soil at about that point right there. And but what I'm doing when I dip it in here, you dip it in here for 5 seconds, but it's not going to go deep enough to get this node right here. It'll be about that deep when I dip it in that little jar. Well, I want this node right here to have some rooting hormone on it too, because I want it to root from right there. So here's what I do. I go down, make sure it's covering the 2 that I think it was going to cover before I put it in there. It's supposed to be 5 seconds. Most times I give a little bit extra than that. If 5 is good, 5.5, 7, 8, 10 might even be better. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to paint that 3rd node. I'm going to paint that dude because I want it to have rooting hormone on it too. Okay? These 2 were dipped. This one and this one were dipped in the solution. But that one I'm going to paint with the solution, with the dip and grow, simply because I want that one to root also. Set it aside. We'll do another one. Again, point it in. I got a node, 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 node. I can probably put 4 underground. So there's 3. There's 2 of them. 2 of them are dipped, and 2 of them will have to be painted. I'll paint that one there, and I'll paint that one there. Leave it in there for a few seconds. Like I say, when I lay these aside, because I have beveled that bottom end, I know which way is which. You're not supposed to get the rooting hormone on you. I don't know what it I don't know what the hormones will do for you, but it's probably not something you're gonna like. I have no idea. All right, so I painted the other 2 nodes. So this one's going to have 4 nodes in the ground. Pretty good likelihood it's going to root. All right, one more, and then I'll show you what I do from here. Dip. It's got a node right there above the water line that's not going to get in the ground. I mean, not going to get in the solution. And then this one here is not going to get in the solution. So I will paint them. Okay? And then this one only, if I paint that one, it only leaves me this one above ground. So I may just paint that one. This one's a little weird. Let me cut the top off this. Cut the top off that. And you got to be real careful you don't hurt that little bud right there. It's a node. There's nothing there probably, but that's where your shoot's going to come from. And if you get in there and crush it and stuff, then you may have problems. You may have problems trying to get it to root from there. So this one's going to have two in the ground, two nodes in the ground, and two above ground. And it can sprout from either one of those nodes above ground. Either one or both. So do that, set that aside. I'll finish these while you go get your drink of tea, and we'll be back in just a minute. So let me add that these are fresh. I cut these probably 15 minutes ago. Don't make you some cuttings and then say, well, I'll do this tomorrow. They may dry out way too quick, especially this time of year. So I'm going to go down. If this was a powder, like one of these are powders. If it was a powder, I would get a pen or something and stick a hole in it and place it down in that hole, because you don't want to wipe the powder off. But since this was a liquid and it's already soaked in, I'm just going to go down till that third node is in the ground. Whichever one I painted last, that one's got 3 nodes to go in the ground in the potting mix. Just barely gonna make it. I'll add a little bit more potting mix on this to make sure they're all, that last node of these are all covered. So sharp end in the ground. If you leave any leaves at all, make sure it's not much. As you push it down, don't hurt. I don't know if you can see that. Don't hurt that little thing right there. That little bitty hair-like thing is a place, and right up here too, is a place where it's trying to make a shoot. You don't want to hurt that. You don't want to injure that. So push down somewhere around it, not on it. It's one reason I make the tops flat, is so I can get in there and I can push down on that top. Now you say, well, they sure are close together. Well, they are, but you're going to separate them once they start rooting. I should have spaced them a little bit better than this, probably. Again, I'm going to put a little bit more soil in it just to make sure I've got all those, that last, 1, 2, 3, that last one covered with soil. And this one's got a leaf on it. I'll put him kind of on the outside here. Being careful not to crush that growing node on top. Roots grow from the bottom. Leaves grow from the top. Shoots start coming up from the top. So again, I have had very little success doing this in the summertime. However, I've always left them outside. So what I'm going to do with these, as I told you before, much to my wife's delight, is take these in the house. I will spritz them as many times a day as I can think about it. I'll have a little spritzer like that. Fill it full of good clean water and spritz them, mist them. Basically, it's just a misting. Mist them every day, a dozen times a day, 20 times a day, 50 times a day. Whenever I think about it, I'll mist them. You can't let those tops dry out. That's why summertime has not been good for me at all. Winter times, fall has done pretty good propagating, but summertime has never been all that great because they get dry. Now, the house is air conditioned. The humidity level is going to be low. If these tops start drying out and getting black, dead, unlikely it's going to make it. Let's put it that way. So I'm going to put a little bit more soil in these. Do that while time of thinking about it. Mainly just to get those last nodes I put in the ground, make sure they are in the ground. I got all the growing nodes above ground, so we're good. I'll give that a little bit of spritz out here with the water hose, and I'm just a mist on the water hose, and then take them in the house, and I will update you on the progress. But right now we are attempting to propagate blackberries indoors. So here they are in the house. I've got a TV tray, and I've got an old dish towel. Not one of my wife's pretty dish towels, so maybe that'll smooth things over. Under it, I don't have holes in the Folgers can. Maybe I should. I'm really not sure. You know, you can feel by the weight of it whether or not it's getting waterlogged, whether or not it's got a lot of water. I just don't think misting. If anything, I think I'm going to have to add water from time to time. I don't think misting is going to, because it's an air-conditioned home, a controlled environment, and low humidity. I think misting it's important. I think misting will get some water down on the in the potting mix, but I don't think misting is going to waterlog this can. So I've got enough room here to do two or three more cans, and I may just do that. Who knows? I think that's it. Wife hadn't come home yet. Hey, honey, look what I did. I've got something in your bedroom. All right. It's by a window, but that's not important because I don't think, because sunshine is not important. Now, once they start putting on some leaves, then maybe so. So I'll be glad then that I've got it close to a window probably. Anyway, I think that's it. We're trying to do this indoors, and we're going.